we're trying to branch out a little bit. And so they hit us up and say, hey, we have a potential show for you at this stadium in Tijuana. And we're like
a stadium?
Yeah.
Or like a bullfighting arena?
Well, stadium was what we heard. So we're like, okay, yeah, we're totally down with doing this. So it being another country, we're like, all right, well, we're not exactly sure what we need to do. Get over there. It's our first time doing any sort of international travel.
But before we get into all this, who is making all the decisions for this? Like, do you guys do it? You guys get together as a band, make the decisions, but who goes out and books everything? Is Kevin still doing all that?
No, that's actually my wife. So
okay,
yeah,
so she's your manager.
Yeah, my wife Karen does our booking, and what we found early on, and Kevin would even admit this too. And I think it's kind of tough. I know you guys are in the situation a little bit, but when you're in the band, it's more difficult. Not impossible, but when you're in the band, it's more difficult to separate yourself
for sure as
a booker, and maybe you don't necessarily get your full market value in some instances because you're more eager to play the show versus what you could potentially make in some things. And the benefit that we had with my wife doing it is she had been playing. She's an established musician herself. Was a guitar player in Thunderstruck for a while.
Bass player
in Grotley's Crew.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of all the bands here. She'll help me out here. But right now she's doing the Great Pumpkin and Seattle's Best. So really rocking the grunge thing right now. She does an awesome job in the Smashing Pumpkins thing. But not to get off on one of our tangents here. She is really good at having a lot of connections. I think that's what she does best. I mean, she connects with people. She's quite the talker. And really good at making connections and really having that forceful push, if you will, to kind of get us in some of these locations. So
it's always good to have that person that you can hand it off to. I totally understand when we're in a band and when we're people are approaching us, and I mean I love the hey man, I want you to play in my backyard because trust me, I got all the booze that you can have. There's going to be food and booze and
sandwiches over the cooler over there.
And don't get me wrong, I'm very appreciative of that.
Totally.
But at the same time, being able to separate yourself, that's gold right there. To be able to separate yourselves and be the entertainer, be the artist, be the performer who comes in and does that. But then if someone wants to talk business, let's pass the buck.
Totally. And I mean, let's be real. While we're having fun up there and doing the show, that's a great time. But there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes before you're hitting that first note. It's a lot more work. And nowadays, with all the technology out there, it's been scaled down a little bit from what it once was. But there's still a lot of things, a lot of moving parts. Especially traveling.